Awesome. Welcome, everybody. My name is Nick Sorensen, here to share with you guys all about Life Elevated. Each week we pick one product, highlight it, talk about benefits, talk about features, and today is Life Elevated. So for those of you that are outside the United States and Canada, you got the ability to learn all things Life Elevated, how it works, how to set it up, how to create it, how it can definitely benefit you. I'm going to walk through the process of creating it. It is part of your lifestyle membership. So whether you're a lifestyle member as a customer, whether you're your lifestyle affiliate outside the US and Canada, you have the ability, is this just part of your membership, right? We have people that have said yes and got involved with this just because of this product. And the travel piece for them is the extra plus bonus on side. We have people that have said, hey, I'm here just for the travel. And then this is just the extra bonus on top of it, right? I think we've been able to, show enough value here with the membership to where the travel makes sense for those of you that are into travel, looking in it, use it a few times a year, pays for the membership itself, plus all the other benefits, right? From our life perks to the life shop that we're expanding internationally, everything. There are those that are here just because of Life Elevated, and the value and the savings in there is absolutely incredible. So much so that, it's half or, 75% discount of other products that are out there. But most importantly, built here for the long haul. And for them, there's no brainer. It makes all the sense in the world, let alone to be able to get access to the different travel portal and all the different things and the life shop that's being expanded. So we're excited to jump on, share with that, and really put a highlight on what this is. I'm going to share first and foremost, walk through how to set it up, how to create it. It is a very simple process. This is something that has taken a little while from all the technology pieces to definitely connect it. So you can see right here, this is just a digital office here with Nélo. And so as you see, if you're outside the US and Canada, you'll see Life Elevated here. If you're in the United States or Canada, you won't even see this pop up just because it's not available in those countries. Same thing, we have certain products that are available in certain jurisdictions. This is one that is not. So you'll see that pop up there. They did just get this added this week. This is tied to the FX Blue. I think Dante's going to kind of go over that here a little bit later on the Zoom. It's just showing some of the returns on it to just an extra little piece for you to kind of keep eye on what's going on. Now, this FX Blue is just from the past handful of months. We're also working on a tool that will show the returns for all 30 plus months that the fund's been in play. But if you just come up here to go set your account up, you're going to click on here to continue to SAG to create your account. Now, once you're there, you're going to create a username in SAG, which is Secure Admin Group. You'll then come back here, type in whatever the username is you created on SAG, and click connect. And that's what will make it connect, just to make sure your membership is there up to date to cover being connected as part of your value. So once you're here, you click on this link, you click here to verify. Just make sure that you are a person. It says that has expired because I had this set up earlier. Let's come back here, click this again. Click here to verify you are human. Once you get that, you're going to go through and fill out this information. You'll click register. Once you go through and get that information there, you're then going to log in to Secure Admin Group. And at that point in time, and I'm going to stop my share and go to another page. At that point in time, when you're logged in there, you're going to want to go through the KYC process. Okay. I'm going to come back to that here and verify that you are human. I have just a little demo test account set up, as you guys can see. 1 second. I was logged in and ready to go. Let me stop this share real quick, and I will get it up and ready to go. Sorry about that. I had it ready, and then songs and everything playing. Let me pull up an account real quick. Give me 1 second. And we'll go from there. So very, very simple process. Once you go and create that account on that information on the screen I had before, you're then going to go log in. And with you being logged in, let me open this up. you'll go through your KYC process immediately. KYC is very simple, just verifying you are who you say you are. It's, to make sure that we're honoring all laws from different jurisdictions, but also making sure that those that can use the product are going to be using the product. So you'll see here, once you're logged in, and after you go through that process, you can come, it does give a pop-up for it, but you can come up here to click on your name in the top right, and then click profile. And then from here on the left, you can set up your KYC settings. Click here, and then you'll submit your driver's license, passport, etc. You can also set up your two-factor identification there, just to make it really, really simple. Either once you're there and you have your KYC approved, the next steps are going to be to fund it. Once KYC is approved, you can fund with fiat or crypto. The current fiat is $2,500, and it's just mainly because most banks have a wiring fee, right, to send a wire in. So the most economical is crypto. It takes, the minimum you can start trading with is $50. So if you were to click crypto and then let's say USDT, I like USDC or USDT just because they're very quick and fees are usually relatively low. Once you click on that, you're going to turn on or activate this USDT wallet. Okay. Once you activate the USDT wallet, you're going to copy this and you're going to go to wherever you're sending your USDT from and put that in and send it. As soon as you send it, you want to make sure you come to this page and click activate listener. Okay. That's just going to make sure that it is listening for that. We've had a couple people that have deposited, did not click on that. They sent us a message into SAG support. As soon as they clicked on this, their deposit did show up. But the other thing I want to mention is make sure you are using the Ethereum chain ERC20, but it gives you all that information here to send it. Now, once you're sent, it will show up here in your main wallet balance, okay, and what you have deposited. Then from there, you're going to click transfer to your trade wallet. It's very simple. Just transfer from main wallet to trade wallet. It's very simple. Just type in the amount you want to do, transfer there. Once that's in there, you're ready to go to connect to the trade script. Okay. Connect to the trade script. You're going to come in, click join trade script. The name of the script is Surge. Okay. Now it's going to validate here. See how it says the script is not available in your country, just showing that I'm not actually able to do that. But if I were to type that in and you are in a country where you can, it's going to pull up and say, okay, great. How much from your trade wallet do you want to attach and put in there? So whether it's $50, whether it's $500, whatever you want to start with to start get in there, it's going to be put in there, and then you'll click connect and you're good to go. Once you have that done, it's going to pop up and say it takes about 5 days. The first ones that we put in there, I think it took less than 72 hours to get put in there. I think the second deposits that people had made, it took less than 48 hours. So they'll get to the point where that gets really smooth working with Secure Admin Group. So just, it's a very simple process, a couple of steps. And once you're there, you're good to go. You can add to as you want. If you say, okay, great, I tested it for a week and I want to add more, or a couple of weeks, you can either put more in or just continue to add more to the actual trade script. So it's very simple there. Now, a couple of questions I'm going to go into before we put on our special guest is why Secure Admin Group. So Secure Admin Group is run on one of the best technologies out there. There's a company called Dart.cash. They created this technology, and they've been around for a number of years. They've taken more than 25 billion in. And so we just wanted to connect with a group and a company that was very simple, very easy to deposit, to transfer, to withdraw. You can withdraw from this any single time you want. You can compound automatically if you want. So you just want to make sure that the technology was there. It was very safe and very secure from that. But then also too, to be able to have tracking information. And so once you're connected, and I don't have access to that because I am in the United States, but you'll see your trade scripts are over here, and it's going to show you, what you have in returns. So it does a really good job of tracking all that information just to really simplify it so you know where you're at. On top of that, like I showed earlier, it also does show you a little bit of a snapshot. Now we have some more tools coming within Secure Admin Group. They're actually going back through and manually looking at all the returns over the last 30 plus months with the fund, and they'll have a historical data page from here, as well as some other things that are simple to explain and simple to share. But we're excited about this. I can't tell you, my whole story in the financial space and the trading space was reluctantly kind of went into it. was running an algorithm. It was very labor intensive. It took a lot of time and energy. It was a huge learning curve to learn how to do it. But I got to the point where like, hey, this is a big part of what my family's financial future can be. Now, I've had tons of ups and downs on that, right? I've learned a lot. I've ran algorithms that didn't work. I ran algorithms that worked for a little bit and then didn't work. I've taken, spent thousands and thousands and thousands on my own personal trading. And what we connected here, I mean, literally is very simple. It's like pushing the easy button that you see on those commercials. So it just makes it to where you have a full, legitimate trading fund where they have professional traders been doing this for years. They have a full development team where they're constantly making tweaks and updates to the algorithms. But most importantly, they have a phenomenal mindset to where it's not, hey, push, 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 push. Because when you're in the financial sector, it's calculated risk, right? And what they've learned is just take what the market gives them, right? They use very sophisticated algorithms, but then also their experience just to help people win consistently. So I'm excited to jump out of the way as well and bring on Donta. So Donta is a good friend of mine. We've actually grown to be, I would say, way more than just business partners, like close friends. I look up to him a ton. He's a young father, got a very young family. We've gone to some men conferences together, completely outside of business. Respect him a ton because he gets it, right? For him, when he looks at something, it's not about, hey, what is the short-term distance between here and there? As we know, if there's a shortcut, typically it's not safe and there's very high risk. For him, it's, hey, well, what can we do long-term? But most importantly, how can he help a ton of people? He's been very successful in this space. He's been a successful trader. In fact, one of the first live trading calls I was ever on to learn how to trade myself manually, Donta was on there reading the markets, calling out the trades. And so he knows the difference between manually trading, running algorithms, but also building teams and the psychology that goes behind it. So excited to bring you on, Donta, share with you, all about this fund, why you're excited, why you definitely believe it is a product that can help people get where they want to be in time.
No problem. Thank you so much for just a great introduction, Nick. You already know, like he said, like I look at Nick as like one of my mentors, one of my brothers. I'm somebody I've looked up to. I think I've known Nick now. I think it's been 6 years,
Yep.
2018. So I think it's just crazy how fast time can go. And I'm just super excited about what is it that we have here with Life Elevated. Interesting enough, I was just thinking about like when some of the first calls were being made about just this opportunity and putting all the pieces together. Like this was 3.5, 4 months ago, but it feels like years ago because we were just like chomping at the bits to get this product out to the field. I personally have been in the trading space now since 2017. I've been like a full-time day trader for a season of my life, but I really fell in love with the algorithmic concept of trading because it allows me to keep what's most important to me, which is my time, but allowed me to be able to make money in the largest financial markets in the entire world. And I think that more people need to be involved in them. It's just the truth is that it takes a lot of time to pick up the knowledge, the patience, the discipline to be able to be successful in the financial markets over a long period of time. A lot of people get into that space and they want to make money right here, right now, tomorrow because they need it. And that will cause you to lose and lose repeatedly and to eventually quit. Most people who get involved in trading are not involved after 2 to 3 years because they keep banging their head against the wall, trying to figure it out, but not really understanding just the only way to win is approaching it with the long-term mindset. And I've been blessed to have mentors who just drilled me with that concept of this is not about winning in the next 6 months. This is not about winning in the next year. You need to think about this over the next 5, 10, 20 years. Successful investors look at the market like they'll look at the S&P 500, or they'll look at even how most people gain wealth in most countries is through real estate. And that's because people will buy a house and they live in that house for 20 years. They make payments on it every month. And then over time, the house will appreciate in value. And then they have a large lump sum of money that they can then choose to sell or do whatever it is that they want. And if you apply that same concept of, hey, look at this opportunity here with Life Elevated and truly any investment that you're looking at, but look at it as something, hey, I can put money in this. It's going to appreciate over time because it's conservatively growing. I can have a large nest egg of income in years to come. Now, if you're starting out with a whole bunch of money, you're going to be able to make much more money quicker than others. But in general, I love this concept because of the barrier of entry for people. Like Nick mentioned, that you can start this with $50. I'm going to show you guys a compound calculator here in a second, and this is literally what I show people. But in the background of my life, like I'm talking in the last 3 to 5 years, I've literally had products that were not as good as LifeelevAte, that were more expensive. And usually, I don't think Nick brought this up, but they take some kind of fees if your money is being managed by anybody else that's not yourself. So in this situation, the hedge fund managers here with Nélo, they do not take any money from you guys because we're not necessarily like Nélo is not in bed with them when it comes to this. So it's like literally you're able to allow your money to be traded on your behalf and then not have to pay any performance fees on what is it that's earned. That's a special opportunity because usually with any kind of managed funds, you have to pay 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50% of the profits made to the actual people who are trading the account. And in this situation, you don't have to. And these are things that people don't recognize because they're not in the space. But for me, I've been doing this for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, really dealing with people on a day in and day out. So I'll shut up now and just get right to just sharing some data with you. And I hope that this will make a lot of sense because it gets me really excited. And I'll tell you guys about my trip at the end. But in general, I have 2 pieces of data that I want to show you. So before we partnered up with Nélo, this fund was already running for years prior before the Nélo connection, obviously. And in that time, since December 2021, the account has averaged, and what you're looking at, by the way, is called a MyFX book. It's just basically like a verified piece of data to tell you what an account has done. Very similar to if you were to go buy a car, especially for my Americans. I don't know who's all on the call, but if you were to go buy a car and you get the Carfax and it just tells you what's happened on the car, how many owners, how many miles, all the things. Very similar concept here with a MyFX book. And basically, in those 2.5 years of data that you see here, the account has averaged a little over 6% a month with very, very minimal risk, which is the most important piece of the puzzle. What I want you guys to focus on here, though, is that you see here there's been over $7 million in withdrawals on this specific account. Now, about 100 days ago, we connected this account with inside of our Nélo platform. So it's been 99 days exactly. I think that's so funny. So we're just under 100 days since we made the transition and being a part of Nélo, and it's just an updated version to see the same data. And since for the last 90 days, we've been averaging a little over 0.5% a week, which again, it doesn't seem or sound like a lot of money when we're thinking about it from the fact that, hey, I only have $200. Hey, I only have $1,000. Hey, I only have $5,000 to be able to invest. But the goal is not, hey, how much money can I make from this thing tomorrow? It's how much money can I make from this thing over time? What does the long-term picture look like for using this kind of a product, this kind of a resource? And for me personally, and other opportunities that I've been a part of, products like this usually cost you $100 to $150 a month, plus some kind of a performance fee of like 30%. So in this situation, the fact that you're only paying $59 a month to access this on top of everything else that Nélo provides with all the things that are in the Life Shop, with all the travel opportunities that are part of it. There are other things that are coming that are part of Nélo too, that are going to be still for this $59. And I think it's so valuable. But when you look at this and you think about the fact that, like, if I Google, let's just take a Google together since we're here and Nick has given me free reign. So what does the average hedge fund return? Let's just see. I'm curious. Based on recent data, the average annual return for an investor in a typical hedge fund is about 7.2%. This is for the year, by the way. We're talking 7.2%. You see here in 2023, it was 6.6%. And you see here reported the average weight return of about 14, 15%. And again, that is like, this is just Google. You can look it up yourself. So to think that the average is 6%, 8%, some of the best were 14, 15%. Just with the low pace here, which you're seeing here, we've been doing 2.3% a month for the last couple months. And again, we're not here to guarantee any profits. We have had 1 or 2 very small losing months in the last 3 years, which is a part of it. But the goal is that overall monthly return month after month after month. But again, to think that these accounts are doing I think in 2023, we returned our investors like 47, 48% over the course of a year. So when you just compare what you have access to here inside of the Nélo Life platform to what's actively available on the marketplace right now, it is not even close. And you get to be a part of this. And this is for my non-US and non-Canadian. So I'm sorry if that's where you're at, but it is what it is. And people get to plug into this with 100, 200, 500, 1,000 bucks. And I would advise you put more in. We don't make any more or less money based on what is it that you invest, but just for your benefit, you're going to make more based on how much more it is that you want to actually invest. And I always tell people our goal here is not to make this more risky. It's already doing well and beyond what any other platform it is that I've seen with conservative money. So it's like, if you can find a resource that can provide 20, 30, 40, 50% potential gains over the course of a year, that's all it is that you need. The goal is just now like, okay, I need to get more money in my account via one of two methods. And I'll show you guys both of them here. The first method, when I'm talking to somebody who really doesn't have a lot of capital, I really have to hone in and just get them to recognize that 5 and 10 years is going to pass no matter what it is that you do from today on. The next 5 years is going to happen. The next 10 years is going to happen. So what can we do today to be able to plan and set you up so that way in 5 years and 10 years from right now, you're not in the same financial position it is that you are in today. And this is why I get excited about these concepts, because this has an investing piece of it, but it's also incentivized to say, okay, if I knew, okay, if I have $100,000 invested inside of Nélo Life and I do 3%, that's $3,000 that you now can withdraw whenever it is that you want. And that is your money to do whatever it is that you want with. So it's like, okay, how do I get to $100,000 in my account? You use and you leverage the business aspect of Nélo Life when it comes to actually sharing this platform with other people. And you use those funds that you make from the business of Nélo Life and then put them in the actual investment account that will allow you to then be able to have the kind of returns it is that you want. If you guys can see my office right now, literally on my board in my office, like one of my main goals in my own personal life is to say, hey, I need to have $1 million invested inside of a platform like this. So that way, then I could live off of the actual returns of the money. I love Randy Schrader. I listen to a lot of his YouTube videos. He said on one of his videos the other day, he's like, yeah, I have goals for what I want inside of my business, but my ultimate goal is to be able to have enough money invested inside of these kind of different opportunities that I can live off of the investments, which means that I don't pay my bills with my business income. I pay my bills with my actual returns from my investments. But the only way for me to get that is to actually use and leverage the business so then I can actually create those funds to be able to invest in the first place. I feel like I'm talking really, really fast, but I hope that made a ton of sense for you. But here, this is a compound calculator. So if you're not starting with much, and let's just say you're not willing to work the business in Nélo Life at all, you just want to use the products and keep it moving, this is still a brilliant opportunity for you if you approach it with the correct mindset. So let's say you're going to start with $100 because that's where you're at right now. If you start with $100, and let's just go for the next, I know it seems long, but let's just go with the next 10 years. I've been in direct sales now for 12 years. It feels like it was 4 years. It's crazy how fast the time will just fly when you get busy doing certain things. But if you look at this over the course of 10 years, I believe that Nélo Life is going to be here for multiple decades. When you're working with excellent ownership like we are with Nick, Larry, and Eric, together with and Orkan as well, and all the other pieces that we have, I believe that they have everything that they need to be able to have a multi-decade long company. Even what they've done in the last 100 days should prove to you that they can make moves and set things up for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So I'm thinking about this in a form of 10 years. Now, let's just say on the conservative end, the account does, let's just say 3.5% a year. Which again, or 3.5% a month, I apologize, which is somewhere at about just under 40% over the course of a year. Remember, your typical hedge fund is bringing back 15, 20% tops, and you need to have serious money to even participate in. If you never added another dollar to it and you just paid your monthly subscription at Nélo Life, your $100 after the course of 10 years would be $6,000. No, that's not a lot of money. But what I teach and I educate people on, even if you're working a job right now that you may hate, you can use and leverage the job that you have right now to create financial freedom for yourself if you're patient and you're consistent. So let's say we're averaging 3.5% a month. And as opposed to eating out every week, you just say, you know what, I'm not going to spend that $25 a week that I do eating Chick-fil-A or eating whatever your go-to eat out thing is, fast food, whatever it is. And you say, you know, I'm going to save $25 a week and I'm going to put that into my actual Nélo Life Elevated account, which means I'm investing $100 a month into my account. Through the power of compound interest, and then this is not guaranteeing, this is just showing you math. This is not making any promises, but this is just to show you what the math can look like if you understood this. And when I saw this, my brain has never been able to see anything else, because I'm like, this is the key that people need to really be able to free and unlock themselves. But you have to have the vehicle to do it, and you have to have the patience to be able to work it out. So you start with $100, you add $100 to your account every month by just living a little bit below your means. Eat out one time less a week, do some, cut back a little bit somewhere from what it is that you're already doing, and just add money to your account. Over time, it will grow. And now at the course of end of a decade, you have this amount of capital that you can use for whatever it is that you decide to use it on. We don't have anything to do with that. That is your money. We're not taking any fees from that. You can do what it is that you want. Now, there are some people on the call, like Donta, I could start with $5,000 today. Wonderful. Start there and then begin to build and add to your capital. But you have two options if you want to use and leverage this platform to be able to create freedom for yourself. One is use the money that you already have and the income source that you already have, whatever your job is, and just add money to it slowly over time. I advise people to say, you know what, you see this vision. You could easily get somebody you know on a call like this, or on a call with Nick, or on a call with myself, or on a call with Eric, or on a call with somebody else that can explain this concept to them. And if you enroll one person a week, that's $25. And you're getting to the same goal if you just put that $25 in your account every week whenever it is that you enroll somebody. Enroll one a week, you can go ahead and hit this same goal. If you get to points where your residual income is $100, $200, $300, $400, you can add money to your account by just building the business and recognizing, hey, I'm not using my money from my business to go out and splurge. I'm using that to go ahead and build my capital. So that way in 3, 4, 5 years from now, I have 100 grand, I have 400 grand, I have X amount in the account that can actually pay me out on a monthly basis. So now I'm getting serious money from my business and serious money from the actual investment side, and I'm truly protected. I was just talking to a buddy of mine the other day. He's huge into real estate. He loves real estate. He buys homes, he fixes them up, he puts them on the Section 8 and gets money every month from renting them out. And me and him were just having a candid conversation. Great friend of mine from high school. And he's like, yeah, Donta, I got like 400K in this house right now, but it's only paying me $1,000 a month. I show him this. I'm like, dude, listen, like if you have 400,000 in here right now, and then we just did 1%, you'll be making way more from this right here than you are from that whole real estate property. And the best part about it is that it's liquid. So if you needed it tomorrow, you could pull it all out if you wanted to, or you have much more freedom and flexibility. And he was blown away because just the thought process of this vehicle of the financial markets versus the typical streams of investing that are out there. I've always leaned in the favor of the financial markets for the reason of liquidity, for the actual access to it. You don't have to have a certain credit score or whatever your country calls a credit score to be able to participate. And there's no limits. As long as you're over 18 years old, you can actually be a part of this. The issue that we're having is that there's not enough people like myself to go out and share the message because they don't actually understand what's happening and can't clearly communicate with your average person of just how can I make this make sense for you. And that's why I'm super blessed to be here with Nélo Life, because I feel like we've kind of like cracked the code, because people can get in with a minimum of $50. So nobody can say they can't start. It's just having them buy into the process of this is going to take time. And if you can get people to buy into that, you can build a long-term sustainable business here inside of Nélo Life, whether you're live in another country or not. I'll be traveling next week, I think for 11 days, 10 nights, out to London, and I'll be in London sharing. This is the same thing I just shared with you right now. I plan on sharing this with 100+ people when I'm in London, because they can obviously participate immediately, and I live in Oklahoma. But that concept, I'm excited, I'm confident, I'm super just pumped up to be able to show people what they can do here inside of Nélo Life, leveraging the LIFEelevate platform. Anything else you need me to hit, Nick?
No, I love it. And here's what I love about Donta's experience, right? He's traded himself manually. He spent thousands of hours perfecting his craft. He's literally participated in just about every program out there when it comes to whether it be running an algorithm himself, having money traded on his behalf, him trading money for him. He's also built a team, in the tens of thousands when it came to helping them, when it came to an algorithm. And when we first talked about this, it was, hey, what are the strengths of this space and what are the weaknesses of this space? And is there a way that you can create something that basically takes advantage of both, right? To make it where you get the advantages without the disadvantages, without the huge learning curve, without the hours you have to spend, without the mindset coming into play when you get brand into it. And so when this all came together, like it was all clear to all of us, like, wait a second, our goal, and he showed you a 10-year plan on something incredibly conservative. But what does that look like, right? Think about where you were 10 years ago. It is 2024. So 2014, if you would have said, hey, wait a second, if I could put $100 in and then add $100 a month in something that was crazy conservative based off his historical data, what would that look like? Where would it be, 10 years from now? And that's what excites it. That's what excites Donta. I know his heart, and he's like, Nick, I want to help, thousands, tens of thousands of people all around the globe literally get to that point where, like, wait a second, I'm financially free, not because of a company, not because of a specific product, but because of their own asset. That's powerful. I know that's what definitely drives you for sure. So maybe hit on that a little bit on, the experience that you've had in the past compared to what you're seeing here, and why this completely stands out, and why you believe that, 10 years from now, you're going to be getting tons of phone calls. And I call them Freedom Day celebrations. I know, you've been incredibly successful as an entrepreneur. I know there's so many on the Zoom that have as well. But when you get to that point where you're financially free, not because of a job, not because of a company or a team, but because of an actual asset, it is a whole different level of freedom. So maybe share with that, like, what drives you and what excites you about what we have here, to help people get to the finish line.
What drives me is honestly recognizing, for one, I just come from a community, grew up in poverty, not necessarily around anybody who were having conversations about a freedom day, very much in a go to school, go to college, get a job, work your job till you're 65, retire, die when you're 76, have 11 years of freedom of that post-retirement. And like, that's what I looked at what my life was going to be. So when I got exposed to trading in general, before I even knew anything about technology, including it, I just felt like a level of freedom of like, wow, nobody taught me about this. This is a space to where I know I can free myself. I can set things up for my family. Like Nick said, I have 2 kids and a third on the way. My newest baby be born like the first week of September. So like this whole London trip is a sacrifice, because I recognize just the immediacy and the timing of right now and what is it that we can accomplish. But I have invested into learning how to trade manually. And although I love it and I've made great money at times, and you lose money at times as well too, it's a part of the game. But the time it takes to get good at trading by yourself is not worth it for your average person. But if you have people who are trusted that can actually manage the funds, and again, I know the fund manager, so because of that, it adds another level of confidence, because I know what they're doing and how they're going to be able to do it. And it's the exact system. If I were to do this by myself, what they're doing is exactly what I'd be doing, as far as just leveraging algorithms, which do a lot of the work for you, and then just managing them manually on top of what they're doing. And it creates a opportunity to create success, consistent, conservative results inside of one of the most profitable. Like, there's almost $8 trillion. It might be more than that now. $8 trillion traded every day in the financial space. So it gets me excited, because I know that I didn't have opportunities like this when I was growing up. These were not conversations that I was having with my dad. These are not things that were a part of my culture when I was getting raised. So when I got exposed to this, I saw it as a way first to just help the people that I know. And then when I realized that a lot of people in the world were not having these kind of conversations either, and I started to travel and get exposed to different cultures and recognize that, like, listen, people who are like-minded, it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what color you are, that like minds are going to be able to attract. So when certain people hear opportunities like this, they take advantage, while some people say, you know what, that might be too good to be true. So it's like, I love the opportunity to connect with other minds that are like mine, and really provide people with an opportunity and just a concept that makes sense over time, and to just share that with them. It gets me excited. It's like, I have friends that I've been friends with now for years, because we've been on this same mission of, hey, listen, we're going to figure this out. And now we're closer than ever, in my opinion. It just takes now some visionaries to say, you know what, I'm going to go and get uncomfortable. I'm going to go and put the extra work in to share this vision with those who can receive it. This is not in America. This is not in Canada. But there's probably 6 billion plus people who don't live in America or Canada that would love this opportunity. And I'm sure down the line, there'll be other things that we can do for Americans and Canadians. But for right now, what we have here in Nélo Life is great. It just takes us to buy in and then to go take action.
I love it. You'll be invited to lots of Freedom Day celebrations around the globe, starting 5 years plus. So appreciate you, Donta. Appreciate your wisdom. Appreciate your friendship. Like I said, I've learned so much from the trading space from Donta. And we've kind of been on this same different trajectory, right? We got into the algorithm space, and we got into the manual trading space. We've chased aggressive returns, and we've all come to the same conclusion, like, hey, run the thing down Main Street, run minimal risk. And when we say conservative and minimal risk, what we're talking about is the actual risk to reward. So for example, this specific fund in the last 18 months, there's only been 2 occasions where they had more than 10% in open trades. It's called drawdown. Okay, so for example, if someone were to put $1,000 in, okay, That means there's only 2 times in the last 18 months that they ever had $100 in play, right? So if you're trading on the stock exchange, if you have $1,000 in an account, right, whether it's Scott Trade or E-Trade, it only means that there's only 2 times of $100 of that was ever in play. Last year, the investors netted, okay, netted, not gross, netted 49%, never having more than 10% in play on 2 different occasions, right? And so the excitement of that is the majority of the time on that $1,000 is only ever $20 or $30 it's actually ever at risk in play. The majority of the time. On 2 occasions, it was 10 or $100 of that $1,000. When we say conservative, run Main Street, that's what we're talking about from that standpoint. And they've mastered it from using the algorithms and they're traders that actually have the intervention in there. And so that's what's exciting is that you can sleep at night. It can definitely be very simple. And to have that low of risk, but that high of return is just something that's really exciting and powerful. We can definitely help a lot of people. So appreciate you guys so much for jumping on. Any final words, Dante? And then we will jump off.
No, I'm excited. If anybody's got anybody in London that you want me to connect with, let me know. All ears, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great week. Thanks, Dante.